He dropped her off at her house, but waited outside the door with her. "You're 26 now, Amanda. I would be there when you celebrate 30 years and so on. I'll never leave you, my love. Never." He kissed her forehead and headed back to the car. Little did Amanda know that that would be the last time she was going to see him. If you love interesting stories filled with romance, mystery, and unexpected twists, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support keeps us bringing you more amazing stories. It's her birthday, and Amanda decided to set the table for her friends who are coming pretty soon to celebrate with her. Cake, check. Table, check. Lights and decor, check. What else was missing? Her phone rang, and she suddenly remembered the dress she had ordered, a red 1964 vintage gown which she had promised herself a long time ago. She checked her phone and saw a WhatsApp message, "Hello." She ignored it and went back to make sure everything was right, but her phone chimed a second time. She was expecting a lot of people, from the delivery guy to her friends to happy birthday texts and calls. Amanda rolled her eyes, settled on the couch, and took her phone to view a message she regretted immediately. "Hello, Amanda. It's me. I lost my phone and every contact in it, so I couldn't reach you again. Trust me, I tried my best. I know it's been a long time, but today isn't a day I want to miss. I promised to be with you when you turned 30 years old. Happy birthday, Amanda. I found Emma's Instagram and begged her to give me your contact and where you live. I'll see you soon, love." Her phone fell from her trembling hands. Her eyes were wide in shock and frozen in time. She stood up and wondered if her birthday was about to turn into her worst nightmare. It was an unknown number, but she definitely knew who that was. He was the only one who called her Amanda. She checked his name and DP, but there was nothing there. Part of her wanted to believe it was from someone else, but she knew this was him and he would see her soon. Panic rushed through her, her blood burned like acid. A knock on her door made her flinch. She gently went to the door and hoped it wasn't him by the door. Thankfully, it was Emma. Emma came in with guilt in her eyes and her hands surrendered beside her head. I know. It was very stupid of me to do, but you have been screaming every year about this guy, and now that he has come back into the picture, I just thought it would be nice if you both had a sweet conversation and let it go. You need this, Amma. The whole of the USA needs the spark again. Whatever Emma said didn't register in Amanda's head. He was on his way to her effing birthday already. It was suddenly hot everywhere. She went to the fridge and poured herself a cup of water. She gulped it like her life depended on it. What's with the drama? Don't you miss him? Emma was good at what she did, but it's not her fault that she wanted Amanda to be happy again. Amanda never told her what happened. None of her friends knew. All they knew was that he had something to do and had to travel abroad to fix it. The only lie she could come up with, and they didn't really give an EFF, so they believed it right away. Everything was finally working fine for Amanda. She is now a great writer and an award-winning one at that. She has published a lot of books, and she has taken herself above average. She was already having peace, already forgetting the past for him to show up now. At this point, she couldn't stop herself from thinking back to the memories she had spent the last 5 years trying to bury. 5 years ago, Amanda was 25, fresh out of school, and she started working as a ghostwriter for Alexander, a young handsome man in his late 20s. She worked from home and met up with him every weekend to talk about the book they were working on together. The first time she met him, she was drooling and gawking, wondering how a man could be so handsome with a thick voice and sexy eyes. I was thinking you would be writing some of these down, he said when they were talking about their first book together over dinner at McDonald's. Isn't that what the paper and pen are for? What? Of course, Amanda didn't hear a thing. Alex realized and laughed about it in a way that wouldn't make Amanda uncomfortable. Many meetings like that kept holding, and eventually, their chats on the phone started becoming frequent, and Amanda noticed her racing heart. She was in love with him. She already knew this. But just like the romance books she writes, she knew this wouldn't end well. She would have to stop it one way or the other before it gets worse and she falls victim to a heartbreak. So Amanda slowed down. She started spending her weekends in the gym and had her meeting with Alex online. Most times, she turns on her airplane mode and lies that she has a bad network. It was working. Her wavering heart was taking a break. A short break, by the way. She got to the gym the next weekend and saw that the gym instructor had changed to Alex. She was Hun first. The big muscles he hides under shirts, his perfectly curved ass, and his sweaty body which glows good as the sun rays on him. He was perfect. Her heartbeat rushed like that of a broken dam. She turned to go back home. "Manda," he called out, a voice she dared not ignore. She slowly went back into the gym. "Are you going back? We are just getting started." He didn't wait for her to return a response. He took her to a mirror and started training her, holding her delicately and constantly breathing to the skin on her neck. After training her, he didn't train anyone else. Instead, he followed her to the pool for a swim before walking her back home. "You have been distant," he broke a pregnant silence in between them. "Manda, what have I done wrong? Being too handsome for her, being too kind to her, being too close to her, that was all he did wrong." He didn't have the right to steal her heart when she knew he would steal other women's hearts the same way without even knowing it. He was a man for all, a man who would find someone better. She was almost nobody. Just a ghostwriter who is still trying to survive. "Nothing," she snapped. "I like you." His confession came in straight. "I want to be with you all the time and explore your fantasies with you. I know you feel the same way. I know you feel the same way." Amanda got irritated for a moment, but it was quickly replaced with butterflies in her belly. She couldn't look him in the eyes till he grabbed her waist and brought her to a halt. A cool breeze kissed her skin and flared her short skirt. His eyes held a lot of emotions, a lot of unseen danger. Her heart was almost in her throat, but she knew she would be lying if she said she didn't love him. There is no running away from love or lust. Their lips were only an inch apart when she spoke. "Are you sure this isn't just about sex?" Alex chuckled and pulled her closer for a kiss. She didn't get an answer, but the kiss was everything she needed at the moment. Later, they debated whose house to spend the day, and after a moment of argument, they decided to go to Amanda's house. When they got there, they were both shocked to see the door open and 5 girls were partying on their own. Amanda looked frustrated with her palm buried in her face. All 5 friends stopped when they saw Alex, and Emma quickly stopped the music. There was an uncomfortable silence before Emma broke it. We were going to surprise you, Amanda." She shook her head, took Alex's hand, and made her way to her room. "No, no, no," Tina yelled and quickly went to block them from entering. There is, you know." Tina made some uncomfortable gestures. "What, Tina?" Amanda was starting to lose it, but she lost it when she finally started to hear the faint sex moans and sounds coming from her room. The sound of raw flesh pounding each other. It was meant to feel disgusting, but part of the whole thing swept through her. This would be her lit pretty soon, with Alex, who is meant to be her client. They ended up going to Adam's house instead. Alex knew how to handle a woman, Amanda thought. He got her a new dress, which she changed into, and settled down for a cup of coffee. "I really apologize for my friends. I didn't know they'd be home, and I didn't know that would be happening in my room," Amanda said irritatedly. This time it felt gross that she would return to that same room and sleep on that same bed. "I've got friends who do worse," Alex said with a chuckle. He sat beside her, and they gist for about 20 minutes. Deep into their conversation, the room echoes with laughter, eyes gazing at each other, and once again, their hearts are in the race. He was looking at her again, and it felt like he was looking into her soul. "You are beautiful, Amanda. I'm glad I'm the lucky man who found you. It would have been a shame if someone else had taken this position I am in." He leaned in and gave her a quick kiss on her lips. Her eyes were still closed when he stood up and disappeared into his room. She wanted more. She wanted to feel his body like she had felt it in the gym. She wanted to kiss every part of his body and leave marks to set her territory. She wanted him so bad that her thighs barely listened to her anymore. They spent the evening walking to the beach and stargazing. He sat on the sand while she played on the shore. The sunset, the peaceful private beach with nothing more than the sound of the waves, and the sweetness of Amanda's laughter as she played with the sand. Alex took out his phone and took a quick picture of her with the sunset. This was the happiest day of his life, and he wished he would be able to live in this moment forever. He wished he wouldn't have to go back to his life and pretend to Amanda that everything was okay. Even though Alex knew he could provide everything Amanda wanted or needed, and he knew he could protect her, there's that one thing that he knew sooner or later, it would affect the relationship he has established with her. So he was going to enjoy this while it lasted. They hit the road and went back into the house. He didn't wait. The moment he locked the front door, he grabbed her and stripped her of all her clothing, kissing her passionately and taking her into his bedroom. This is what Amanda had wanted since the day she saw him, and it was finally happening. She couldn't hide her hunger for him. Her hands explored every part of his body once he was naked. He figured that at 25, Amanda was a virgin. So he took it slow and reassured her as he went into her little by little till he filled her up, and they were one in rhythm and sweats and love sounds. It was the best experience for Amanda. She has always dreamed of doing this with someone special. Funny how she hadn't even known this someone special for a month yet. Their relationship kicks off to the next level. Amanda used part of their love life into her writing, and soon enough, she started writing her book and stories. He bought her gifts and food every day, a dream Amanda never saw coming. It was a dream come true. She has finally met her first lover, who might just turn out to be her only lover. She introduced him to her friends, even though that wasn't the first time they would all be meeting, apart from Lisa, who was the one in the room the other day, knacking out her gut. Amanda was talking with her friends one day when they finally told her more than she wanted to hear. I know he is all loving and handsome and rich and caring, but what else do you really know about this guy, Amanda? Emma asked while munching on a piece of pizza. Well, he loves writing. He is a writer like me, but he has other jobs, which is why he hired me to be his ghostwriter. Deep down, Amanda thought about it. Emma was telling the truth, even though Amanda didn't want to admit it. She didn't know much about Alexander. She knew his house and his handles on social media, though, and she knew he loved her wholeheartedly. His siblings, his parents, his exes. What his other jobs are, why he is in DC. Have you spoken about your life yet? How do you end where you are? Those are things you need to know about a potential husband. Unless the both of you are kidding yourselves, though, then that would mean something else. Tina's words hurt Amanda like a knife in her chest, but she still wants to make excuses for him. He loves me, guys. We are taking things slow, Amanda said. We are going to talk about all these. I can't force it on him, and besides, it's the first time I've had a relationship, guys. I'm 25. Her voice has gone a little higher than she intended it to be. Oh, Amma. We are not trying to take this from you. We just want the best for you. You should talk to him about it. Don't say we didn't tell you. Don't rush into it because you are 25. We have been in a lot of relationships, Amma. Amanda sighed and left them in her room. She kept thinking about what her friends just told her, but she won't let that ruin her relationship with Alex. It's winter and she was with Alex in his house, baking cakes and cooking pasta. Once they were done, they were arguing about the best cook and eventually settled in the dining area to take a bite. Amanda looked at Alex, how happy he was and how happy she always was whenever she was with him. He is calm. It won't hurt to just talk about it a little. Alex? She asked nervously. Yes, babe? I have an idea. He noticed that she was dead serious about what she was saying, so he stopped eating, cleaned his mouth, and took her hands in hers. I'm listening, love. I was thinking, why don't we go see your family? I mean your sister and brothers if you have any, and your mom and dad. I think it would be lovely. I noticed we don't talk much about our family, even though I already told you everything about mine. I just think getting to know each other better would make our relationship better. Also, you said you were too busy to write, and that's why I wrote for you. What other jobs do you do? I just want to know in case I can. Enough, Manda. His voice was cold, low, and snapped. She was taken aback for a moment. He wasn't looking at her, but his hands had left hers and they were turned into fists. Her heart started beating rapidly. This was a bad idea. A very stupid idea. She shouldn't have said anything. She should have remained curious. Forget everything I just said. But it was too late to unsay it? Forget. He humphed. You have been talking to people about us, Manda. You were never curious and nervous to tell me anything, Manda. Weren't we meant to keep our relationship private? I'm in love with you, not the people you are talking to, and what's with the haste about seeing my family? I never mentioned them for a reason, so why do you suddenly feel entitled to know everything about my effing life? You are my girlfriend, Manda. You aren't my wife, at least not yet. Do you want to know what other job I do? You don't trust me anymore then. You could have waited for me to tell you if I wanted to. You know what? He pushed the chair back and stood up. I'm done with this conversation. Amanda was shaking, trembling in fear from the pitch of his voice. For the first time, she is seeing another version of him. He had yelled at her to the point she feared he might stand up and hit her. She sat there in shock, not knowing what to do. She still couldn't believe he had flared up that way. But I was gentle when I said everything, and what did you mean when you said I was your girlfriend and not your wife? She tried to tell back, but her voice betrayed her. You know what? Just leave. He was serious. She scoffed. I can't just leave. What are you trying so much not to tell me? What are you scared of? I am trying to make things work for us, but things are already working for us, Manda. Don't you see? We are happy, we were okay and cool until you brought up that bizarre topic. Look, don't ever mention it again, Amanda. I don't even want to see your face. Leave. But, get out. Tears pooled in Amanda's eyes as she trembled in fear. She took her bag and left. She wept in her house for 2 days without using her social media. She locked everyone out and didn't say anything to anyone. After 2 days, she turned off her airplane mode, and the first call that came in was from Alex. She picked up a kind of fear that made her hands tremble. She dropped the phone and tears flooded her eyes through familiar path on her cheeks. Her heart ached and she wondered what she had done, what mistake she had made to meet a man like him. Somehow, she saw it coming. He was too perfect. The relationship was also too calm, too good to be true. She ignored him, called her friends, and told them she had a problem with her network for 2 days. They believed it immediately, but Alex kept calling her, sending emails and messages. She ignored everything till he came to find her at home. She heard his voice by her door, but pretended not to be at home. I need my chapters, Manda, and just give me a chance. I need to talk to you. I'm sorry about everything I said back at my house. The apology should have come first. I'll send your chapters, sir. Please leave my house. He kept knocking and hoping she would open up, but after a lot of attempts, he left. She watched him leave and wished she had opened up, thrown herself at him and kissed his lips desperately. She sighed and went back in to read his texts. She became professional, canceled their meetings, and sent all his chapters online. She taught herself to move on even though he apologized to her every day. He told her how miserable his life felt without her, but wouldn't fall for it again. Once she was done with his book, she sent the documents and a message attached. Here are all your chapters, sir. Please leave me alone and find someone else to help you write what lovers do best. I am no longer interested in doing that work for you. I have tried to know you better the way I could, but now I don't even want to know you anymore. Please stay away from me and stop calling me. It would be the best for both of us. She typed with an aching heart and glassy cheeks from tears. What am I even doing? She asked herself. She was hurting herself over and over again, trying to block him out. The next day, she was surprised to see him outside her house with a big bouquet and people with trumpets disturbing the neighborhood. He was apologizing the only way he could after Amanda had ignored him for almost 3 weeks. She couldn't hide her happiness as she had intended. Her cheeks flushed and her smile betrayed her. She threw herself at him the way she had imagined it 1,000,000 times in her head. Nothing could describe how much she missed him. His voice, his body, his smell, and all the overflowing love he showed to her. Oh, Alex. His smile was genuine and unwavering. He wrapped her into his embrace and kissed her forehead. Don't block me out ever again, Manda. You are all I have, all I want to have, and you are the only person I want to spend my life with. Part of it was true, but Alex wondered if coming back to her was the right thing to do. For days he had been mad in his house. Not being able to talk to her drove him insane, and he regretted every bit of the way he spoke to her the last time he saw her. Day and night, he yearned for her, but here she is, finally. They went in and Amanda wouldn't let go of his hand. She clung to him like a snail and its shell. He apologized deeply to her and begged her to forgive him, and he would never do it again. It's not about not doing it again, but are you ready to open up yourself to me? I love you, Alex, but I need to know more. Alex tightened his grab on her hand. I didn't want to talk about my family because they are people you know. I'm the son of the president of the country. Amanda opened her mouth in awe. What? That's amazing. How were you able to go off the grid? I mean, no one knows President Ronald had a son. That's why I don't want to talk about it. I was disowned a week before he became president because of some political issues, but well, they want me back and shit. It's hectic, that's why I didn't want to talk about it. I'm also the CEO of a company you would find out about later. I hope this helps at least. It was more than enough for Amanda. He had finally opened up to her. He was ready to let her in. They celebrated their reunion with sex, and Amanda advised him to forgive his parents and go back to them. He started opening up more about his life, places he would love to go to, and places he has been. The dogs he had had. They went on vacations together and spent most of their time writing and doing what lovers do. Very quickly, their relationship extended to meeting their parents. Amanda took him to her family in Florida, and he went back to his family, the people who run the country they reside in. It was a great experience for Amanda. Not everyone gets the chance to be the girlfriend of the son of the President of the USA. Things were going better than they had been when they started. On her birthday, March 24th, 2020, Alex called her out for dinner. Wear this dress, I'll send a car to come pick you up by 6. So Amanda looked her best, and when the car came, she followed enthusiastically. When she got to the venue, a skyscraper's rooftop. First, she saw her friends, all of them, and they were cheering her on. Then rose petals that led to a "Will you marry me" background and Alex standing still with a wide smile and a ring in his hands. Tears flooded her eyes again. She was right after all. Her first would be her last. She screamed and shouted, yes. He kissed her and placed the ring on her finger. I love you, Amanda. His voice was filled with warmth and emotions, with a little fit of tears in his eye. It was another best days of her life. There was no going back now. They were engaged. Her family met with his family, and soon it was all over the news. The world knew he was now the son of the president, and he became a celebrity in no time. His engagement with Amanda was a really big talk in the whole of America, and she couldn't be happier. Writers started requesting an audience with her about her love story with Alex. Everywhere she went, someone always wanted to take a photo. Their marriage posters were everywhere on social media, on billboards and magazines, etc. She was living the life any lady would dream to have. We have chosen a wedding date, Lucy, Alex's mother, told them as they ate dinner. Amanda and Alex enthusiastically waited for her to talk. You would be married in 3 weeks. I think that's fine. It's been 2 months since you both got engaged. They were both cool with the date, and Amanda loved for the day to come. Her friends helped her prepare everything she needed. They picked out a wedding dress and a date for her to go check it out. Everything was great, but something worried Amanda. Things are already getting too good to be true. She started to wonder if something really bad was about to happen. It felt like the calm before the storm. Whatever negative energy she was getting, she did her best to put it aside and focus on what was before her. She was going to start a family with the only man she had ever known. The day to go where the dress came, and Alex picked her up to take her to the store. He sat in front of the display and waited for her to try the first sets of dresses. She tried a couple of wedding gowns before Alex finally chose one. A ball gown with no arm. Her waist was so tiny, revealing the beauty of the dress. The veil was a cathedral veil, long enough to fill the whole church. They paid and later went on a mild shopping spree. Did you like the dress I picked for you? He asked her. What choice do I have? It was so pretty, and your compliment made it feel better. It was made just for me. My girls are ready. I don't know if you have any friends for your groomsmen. Don't worry about that. He dropped her off at her house, but waited outside the door with her. You're 26 now, Amanda. I would be there when you celebrate 30 years and so on. I'll never leave you, my love. Never. He kissed her forehead and headed back to the car. Little did Amanda know that that would be the last time she was going to see him. He lied. She messaged him and searched everywhere for him, but it was like he went off the grid. She tried going to his parents' house, but she was blocked away. The news had it that the president of the country cleared the air that he traveled far away and the wedding might not be able to hold. Part of social media said she was dumped. Women hated her, and her best days had turned into her worst days in a matter of minutes. She was lost and alone with no explanation from Alex. It was just 2 weeks to their wedding, and she spent the next 5 years searching for answers. Back to the present. 5 years. Everything she had planned for her birthday died down. Her birthday was ruined before it even started. She wanted to leave as soon as she could. Alex must not find her here. He lost his phone and couldn't reach her. That's bullshit. He knew all her social media accounts. He could have reached her if he wanted to. Her fear kept growing more intense. Where are you going? Emma asked. I cannot allow him into this house, Emma. You know why. I cannot let this happen, not now at least. She went into the room and packed up some clothes. Jules was still sleeping. She was hoping to surprise him when he woke up, but things had taken a different turn. The message rang in her ears again. She tapped Jules and woke him up. Honey, we have to leave. Now. She couldn't let Alex know about Jules. Not today, not ever. Amanda, stop this. You can't just leave because he is coming. You can tell him not to come. It's that simple. Emma won't understand the situation because she has never been in Amanda's shoes. I cannot stay here. You don't understand. He is going to come. The tears in her eyes finally fell. She wiped them and helped the confused Jules to pack his bag. Where are we going? He asked. Even I don't know yet. Don't worry, honey. It's part of my birthday. She didn't care if he believed her or not. All she wanted was to leave that house that instant. Once she was done, she carried her bag and told Emma to call her other friends that there had been changes in plans. She helped Jules with his bags too. She opened the door and came in contact with the one person she was avoiding. Alex. She froze, but her hands trembled. Mom? Who is that? Jules asked. Amanda got control of herself again and stood in front of Jules. It's nobody, honey. You should go to your room. We have visitors. But we were just... Now, Jules. The boy grumbled and ran into his room. Alex looked at Jules before Jules ran off. He could see the striking resemblance. Amanda, it's good to see you again. Is that? She opened the door wider and was shocked to see that he had brought a pregnant blonde with him, holding her like she was his last life with wedding rings on both their fingers. Tina? Hello, Amanda. Tina said nervously. Amanda fell and fainted. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And let us know in the comments, what did you think? We'd love to hear your thoughts.